Undefined centers have at least one planet in a dormant gate. This recording is about having an undefined head center and will also include what it's like when it's fully open, having no planet activations. The not self strategy of the open head is to feel responsible for getting rid of mental pressure that you take in from others, trying to find answers to questions that aren't actually important to you. Without realizing it, you're trying to answer everyone else's thoughts, questions, and taking on their worries. They aren't yours. Undefined centers are absorbent and reflective. You can become overwhelmed by doubt and confusion, which you amplify from others and will cause you to lose focus. This overwhelming mental pressure will also cause you to want to take action to relieve it. The effect of an undefined head center on others is you can reflect and amplify the mental pressure of those around you. People with a defined head may feel validated, expanded, or mentally supported by your openness. Or they may feel confronted if your sensitivity reveals the intensity of their thinking. Your presence can soften mental pressure or magnify it. The true self of an undefined head, with wisdom and witnessing, you can watch your mental process, how it is absorbing that of others. You can enjoy your mind, but not let it guide your decisions or actions. You focus instead on your own inner authority, whatever that may be. You're open to wonder and the unknown and uncertainty. You also learn to avoid taking on the mental pressure of others to help them find answers. You can enjoy the pressure to know more without being identified with having to actually find answers. You trust that sometimes things become clear and sometimes they just don't. So the gifts are accepting mental pressure without trying to turn it into action or escape it. Knowing confusion and doubt and clarity as natural processes with their own inner timing and resolution. The ability to uplift and empower others with both insights and inspiration. So in review, the not self is trying to answer questions that aren't yours and chasing mental pressure. Your true self is open and spacious, and inspiration that comes from the environment. The effect on others is you amplify others' mental pressure, or you may mirror their thinking. So now let's look at emotional states related to the center, since the solar plexus is not the only center involved with emotions. The emotional tone of an undefined head is a mind that absorbs, magnifies, and questions everything, which can lead to mental overwhelm, anxiety about unanswered questions, feeling pressured to figure things out, and curiosity mixed with confusion. So if you have a planet in one of the dormant gates, you can end here. But if you have no planets, then you have a fully open head, which contains some of the aspects already described. Open centers have no planets. And you can check and see if there is a planet on the other side of the channel, which makes it possible for you to have your head defined intermittently through transits or relations with other people. If there's not, then you will always have an open head. Open centers have no defense. So an open head means not knowing what is interesting. Openness is where conditioning enters. For a not self person with a fully open head center, there's no internal reference point for what deserves attention. Instead of fixating on things that don't matter, they end up thinking about anything and everything. There's no internal filter, no sense of priority, and no reliable way to recognize what's genuinely inspiring. All thoughts feel equal and none stand out. And because the head center is a pressure center, this confusion directly affects decision making. When someone thinks about things that don't matter, those thoughts still influence their choices. But when someone doesn't know what matters or even what to think about, the entire decision making process becomes unstable. And you should rely on your internal authority, which is in another center, most likely. They may struggle to make choices independently because they can't determine where to focus or what deserves consideration. Everything feels overwhelming. It can seem like a satellite dish picking up distant signals or a skylight with no curtains. Every passing cloud becomes your thought. You receive inspiration like weather patterns, trying to answer every question that blows through. You can see possibilities that others may overlook. The crown is the most spiritual center in a chart. It's your connection to what is above. A fully open crown gives you unfiltered space to receive powerful downloads. When we look at an open head center without any activations, the core issue shifts. With activations, an undefined head tends to think about things that don't matter because the activation provides a thematic lens, logical, abstract, or individual, based on the channel, that hooks the mind onto specific kinds of questions. The person gets stuck trying to solve, understand, or be inspired by things that ultimately have no real significance. But when the head center is completely open, no activations at all, the dilemma becomes more fundamental, not knowing what is interesting in the first place. So here's an image to remind you of the symbols here. A skylight with no curtains. Every passing cloud becomes your thought. You receive inspiration like weather patterns. Not knowing what's interesting, trying to answer every question that blows through. You can see possibilities that others overlook, and a satellite dish picking up distant signals.